Hi, Colin Boyd here, and I want to have a conversation with you about how you can actually access confidence in your next presentation. See you soon. Hi, it's Colin Boyd here from colinboyd.com.au, and today's conversation I want to have with you around how to access confidence in your next presentation. I've been training people in presentation skills for around a decade now, and what I've noticed is that a lot of people lack confidence when it comes to speaking in public. It was about 5 years into, it was about 5 years ago that I remember I got my first little gig running my business. So I remember this, I got my first little gig and I did a presentation, right? And I finished the presentation. About 2 days after it, I got a phone call. And the phone call was from an executive, and he said, "Hey, I really liked your ideas that you shared, Colin. I was wondering if you could come along and speak at one of our, what they call transformational days." And I thought, hey, that sounds great. You know, this sounds really exciting. I remember having a bit of a further conversation with him and him saying to me, "Colin, so what we're looking for is, you know, about 2.5 hours worth of presentation. And you know, what the day is about transformation, and specifically would love you to speak on career or personal development, something along the lines of that." And I thought, hey, that sounds great. And I remember telling him how much it might be and so forth. And then further on in the conversation, I remember asking him and saying, "So how many people might be in the presentation?" And he said, "Oh, there'd probably be about 5,000. And I remember looking at him and just thinking, 5,000, like 5,000 people. And I remember kind of this fear coming over me. And first of all, the first thought that came into my head was, I definitely haven't charged enough, because it worked out to about half a cent a person. I was starting out, right, with my business. And then secondly, I thought, that's a lot of people. How am I going to do this? And so leading up to the presentation, I got to a point where I started to freak out. And I remember saying to my wife, I said, my wonderful wife, Sarah, I said, "Babe, I'm freaking out about this presentation." And she said to me, "Colin, for what purpose are you doing it?" And then I stopped and I thought, and I realized that I'd made this presentation about myself. I'd actually started to think, what will they think of me? Will I be good enough? Will the content be good enough? Which is okay, but if I spend too long focusing on myself, I'm gonna start to get self-consumed and move into, I guess, a space of fear. And that's where I was. And I realized that the purpose of my conversation, the purpose of my presentation, was actually to add value. It was to have a meaningful conversation with someone that moved them to action. So I've got 3 questions for you. First of all, can you have a conversation with someone? And if the answer is yes, then you're moving forward, right? Second of all, can you have a meaningful conversation with someone? So can you actually share an idea or a thought that's actually meaningful? And third, can you actually move someone to action? So have you ever given an idea to someone or shared something with a person at work and they've actually done something from it? And I think if you can do those 3 things, you can have a conversation, you can make it meaningful, and you can create action in someone. That's actually how you have access confidence in a presentation. So don't view your presentation as a presentation, view it as a meaningful conversation that moves someone to action. And I think that when you attach meaning and a sense of purpose to your conversation, then it accesses confidence in you. It gets you out of you and gets you focused on the engagement of the people and moving them to action. So hey, that's today's tip. Please like it, tweet it. And I've got a question for you. What's been the most helpful tip that you've ever had in gaining confidence in your presentation? What gives you confidence to present effectively? Why don't you write it in the comments below? I'd love to hear from you. Speak to you soon. Hi, Colin Boyd here, and it's good, Cole. Has moved you to a place, bit of a chopper coming over.